decent setup over here, as long as my laptop doesn't crash, because I did try and run a few tests yesterday, and I didn't stream yesterday because it kept crashing. But as long as it doesn't crash, I think it's pretty good. So, we're live on Twitch. We're live on YouTube. Watch wherever you feel. You can follow either. Also on TikTok. I have not made a TikTok about this game in a long time, but I have a feeling, wink wink, nudge nudge, that might change sometime soon. So if you want to, I know I do other things on those channels than just Q content, but if you want the Q content, by all means, follow anywhere. All right, so the way this works, everybody, is I'm gonna spin a wheel, which is full of random suggestions from you guys, actually. It's full of suggestions based off of a simple card. Just like make a deck around Freya. Make a deck around German pickles. Like, it's just simple cards. Or it can be a vigor thing. It can be like make a deck around frogs. Make a deck around birds. Or it can be as vague as just make it arts and culture cards. Make it, I had one at one point that was make it using just cards that don't have abilities. Like, which was an impossible feat, but we found a way to make it kind of work. These decks can be played in both casual and leagues. I'm hearing the people. I know people really like to watch it happen in leagues, and I'm not about to take that away from you fully. If that's what you want, that's what you get. If, of course, it's, let's say, I don't know, impossible to do it in leagues, then maybe we won't do it in leagues. But if it's built pretty good, I am by all means open to running it in leagues. That being said, I just need to hop us over to the wheel real quick. As long as everything's looking good. It's my first transition ever. It felt so good. Yummy, yummy, nice. Please ignore also the fact that on my Q game, it says that I have 67 card deck things to figure out. I know I have a bunch of fusion things. It's fine. We're moving past it. All right. So this wheel, again, full of your suggestions. If you have any suggestions that you don't see on here, or you don't, I'm not going to make you read that whole thing and try and figure out if it is or is not on there. If you have a suggestion of a card or a theme or a vague challenge that you want to see a deck built around, whether it's going to be played in casual or live, by all means, comment it. And we will throw it on the wheel, because this is about fun and it's about challenges. So without further ado, first challenge that we're going to be faced with today. Oh man, it's really jumpy, but you know what? It's still spinning. First challenge today is building a deck around the Cambridge 5 card. Okay. I like it. It's just a simple theme of one card, and it's nothing too complicated right off the bat. Plus, I'm pretty sure Cambridge 5 is a pretty good card, right? Okay, so, way this works. If you want to help me build this deck, I ain't gonna say no. If you see a card, like I start to throw something in somewhere and you're like, Zane, that's a terrible idea. What are you doing with your life? Again, by all means, just tell me, shut me up. Let's figure this out together. Because I can build this. Where I've done it where I do it on my own. And you know what? Sometimes it's great, sometimes it's terrible. Something I do really like, though, is if you throw out a thing and you're like, hey, actually try this card, and we do it together, that's a pretty awesome feat. That's a pretty awesome accomplishment. Gotta love seeing that. I am also finally trying to use BlueStacks to get this game running on my computer, which I do believe is why my computer has been crashing. But that's not going to stop me from at least trying to push forward with making this all work and making it happen. So let me just update this real quick so that if anybody jumps in, they know exactly what we're building around. Spelled that right? I'm pretty sure I spelled that right. We'll find out soon enough. All right. Nice and easy. The first card, of course, that's going into the Cambridge 5 deck, believe it or not, is going to be Cambridge 5. That one is kind of a must. Man, this game is glitching, running pretty harshly slow. I mean, I can't complain. Like I said, it's crashed my computer. But as long as my computer stays up, we're going to power through. My problem last time was I think it was really, really slow or really glitchy. But I'm here to figure out what does and does not work, and then how to fix it moving forward. Okay. Oh, that's where, Jesus. Okay. I'm new to it being on BlueStacks. I now understand that it wants me to type there. Okay. So, Cambridge 5. This one I'm excited about because, if I'm not mistaken, it is a pretty good card. Add, but also read. If your deck contains exactly 5 espionage cards, your espionage cards, wherever they are, gain 25 until played. If it's round 5, they get an additional 5. So, this is a good start for our parameters for this deck, right? We are using Cambridge 5, and we need to make sure that we have exactly 5 espionage cards in this deck. No more, no less. So we know exactly how 5 of the cards in this deck are going to go. That's nice. Man, okay. If it gets too choppy, by the way, the stream is looking way better than that. Thank you. I will say I can see physically that it is still choppy. Thankfully, the camera is moving fine. And this is BlueStacks, not me. The old thing that I was doing before was wild. I was sharing my screen from my iPad to the app Zoom and recording that, which probably was pretty hard on my laptop. I think that there's still probably a better way to take some of the pressure off of the CPU when doing this. But for now, we'll see how this plays out. If it gets worse, of course, let me know, because my goal is, to make it watchable and better. Yeah, that was a wild way to do it. Trust me, because I had to use a different laptop at one point, and the laptop I was using wouldn't allow BlueStack. And so I was like, well, I got to figure this out on my own then. And that was the only way that I figured. Be weird as it is, it worked. And I think it worked pretty okay the first 1 or 2 times. And then for some reason, stuff hit the fan on that last time. It just got impossible to watch. I certainly am glitchy now, but it was worse. It was not watchable last time. So we're starting a Cambridge 5 deck here, which means that we are going to have, once again, exactly 5 espionage cards in here. Now, to narrow it down is a bit harder. Because if I'm not mistaken, Cambridge 5, wow, is an espionage card. So that actually means that we have 4 more to choose from. Now this is not going to be the hardest thing in the world because, we can kind of rank up. I do like just looking at the card pigeon photography. I don't know if it ends up fitting into this deck around Cambridge 5, but man, just the mere thought about the card pigeon photography. It's like if I'm having a bad day, if I look at that card, my day gets so much better. That's just overall a remarkable card to exist. I remember when I started playing this game, one of the first cards that I saw that I adored was Dead Drops. That's just because I like the risky gambit of some cards. And when it comes to... just in case, I don't know if you mean Dead Drops or pigeon photography. For Dead Drops, it's a nice fun risk of a random card in your hand will gain 50 power this turn, and this card will lose 50 power this turn, which just means that you're not playing Dead Drops this turn, but somebody else this turn is getting a nice big boost. And it's a common and it's non-limited. That's awesome to me. It's right when you draw it. If you have cards in your hand like Let's say you had Cheetah in your hand and Cheetah got hit with that. All of a sudden, Cheetah, great impact, cheap energy, and this was not the worst card in the world to have when that happened. After this turn, it goes back up to 70 power, even though it costs 7 energy. That's pretty good. Like, it's not, you know, permanently losing it. That's great. Pigeon Photography, I think, helps birds and aviation, right? Pigeon Photography, your birds, seabirds, and aviation cards, wherever they are, gain 12 until played. Okay, that's not terrible either. I love the until played, especially if it's wherever they are, not just your hand. If this deck decides somehow from the other espionage cards that it's gonna full 180 itself into focused on birds, Pigeon Photography, I'm coming right back to you. But I want to look at the top real quick. Just because we can only have 5 espionage cards does not mean we can only have 5 cards that help espionage in this deck. That's another key thing to remember here, is that we are not limited to 5 cards helping the category we start with. We are just limited to 5 cards literally in this category. 2 opponents, random cards in hand cost 2 energy for 3 turns. That's not bad. I would argue that it's pretty dang good in casual. If we're doing leagues, right now, is it still the 80 energy that you start with? Because if that's the case, they're not going to care that 2 of the cards got a little bit more expensive. Gain 10 power this round. We like those. We do way less. It's way less now. Way less energy. Okay. By the way, that was the highest I've ever seen that get while I was playing. Because I just remember, to be fair, I always remembered not needing to care about energy in leagues. That's, I mean, maybe a bold choice of how to say it, but where leagues was always not too complicated to 14 starting energy. 14 starting energy. That does change things. 14, 10 per turn. Okay, so you're getting most of it back. So you're getting minimum 10 energy. Unless you get really screwed over, you're getting minimum 10 energy each turn. That's not bad at all. I mean, that's at that point neck and neck with casual, but that's fine. That's mighty fine. Max energy 28. Okay. Oh, but never mind. Okay, the minimum energy that you can have at the start of a turn is 14. Interesting. So that means that no matter what, you always have 14 right now to play with? Because if that's the case, this deck can be whatever we want it to be. Literally whatever we want it to. If you can have 14 energy every single turn for sure, this deck's gonna just... Why don't we just build a deck that's just like, hey, here's Holy Grail and everything else that costs so much. Okay. Starting energy 14. Min energy 14. Max 28. Okay, we're playing within that play space. Oh, never mind about the Holy Grail thing, by the way. Max 28, that'd be a rip up. I guess you could still build a Holy Grail deck. You just have to bring him down. And then 10 energy per turn, excluding abilities. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so I guess this is not the worst then to have cards that hurt your opponent's hand. Violet, Virginia seem to both make the opponent's hand a little bit more expensive. Sorry about it being a little glitchy still. It's seemingly not as responsive as I'd like it to be so far, but we're working with it. Card gains. These are the kind that I always find interesting and risky, where it'd do probably at least 80 power first time you play it, but after that, it's okay. No, it's okay. She'll still do 40 if she loses her permanent 40. That's good. I always wondered about those kind of cards though, that it's like, it does 90 damage, but after the first time that you play it, it's going to do 0 damage forever. Nothing, though, compares to, in my opinion, the worst card in the game, Baobabs, which does, what, like 60 damage for 2 energy. But after you play it, that flips. And it does 2 damage for 60 energy. So you're not going to play it again. It's one of the wildest cards. It's one of the weirdest, wildest cards that I know of in this game. That I used in a video too. Just solely because of, I can't even remember at this point. I think I just needed whatever damage I could get, but I digress. It's terrible. I don't like the bash cards. I think every card has its moment in the spotlight, but that card, my God. That card, my God. Poor card. Chinese folklore. Okay, we could help Chinese folklore. We could help your opponent's science cards wherever they are. Does that say -1? +1. Okay, a +1 for the round. I was like, I don't want to help my opponent. I do still like dead drops. This card locks this round. All right, come on, computer, react. Come on. Opponent's random card in hand loses 30 until played. This burns 9. It helps History of Heartbreak as well. Okay. What can we get? Is there any other espionage card here besides the Cambridge 5 that's going to literally help espionage? An opponent's random card in hand loses 10 permanently. And your energy cards gain 30 until played. That's not bad either. I do like hurting them permanently. That's lovely. Random cards in your hand gain 9 this round. Okay. 3. Okay, that's not bad. Shake up the system. What else? We work. You jumped a little too far. Right, birds. History, an opponent's random card. Espionage and stage. That's one that I've always been a bit skeptical of, is when a card is like this, where it's cheap. It doesn't do any damage really on its own. And it gives just 2 power permanently. I'm sure there's a way that this stacks to some degree where it's, relevant. But, I mean, just 2 energy. Now I know that, like, some of the legendary cards are, only giving out like 18 or something like that. So it makes sense that this isn't like 10. But I've always found it hard to convince myself to put a card into the deck that's only barely helping the rest of my deck while barely being able to fend for itself. Like I had said about Baobabs, though, I'm sure that there is a time and place for this card where it would have its time in the spotlight. I just don't know exactly if I would find that time for it. Fritz, my espionage cards, wherever they are, cost 1 less until played. And if your deck has 5 or more espionage cards, your espionage cards, wherever they... Okay, so we're definitely throwing him in there because the deck's going to have 5 espionage cards in it. So for this card to also be happy to work with 5 espionage cards, that makes total sense. If you have 4 or more espionage cards, you're playing cards, and espionage cards gain 40 this turn. That's also fantastic because we are going to have more than 4. We're going to have 5. So definitely throwing him in there. Steinbeck, yes. Where is Steinbeck? I remember Steinbeck. Your Steinbeck card, wherever he is, costs 20 less for 2 turns. Steinbeck is like... Is it like Holy Grail, if I'm not mistaken? Where it's like a handful of power, but like, does 20 energy? Stein. Where you at, Steinbeck? John Steinbeck. There he is. Espionage and the right stuff cards, wherever they are, gain 22 until this is returned to the deck. Okay, so that's good power-wise. He is definitely a lot. Where, if this was the case, if he's going into the deck, CIA would also 100% be going into the deck, because this would be the only way that I'm getting him out of my hand. Or at least that I would get him out of my hand and that it wouldn't feel like I was being cruel to myself having him in there. I consider it. I'll consider him for right now, which means that I'm going to consider CIA as well. I do want to see espionage just in general, outside the spectrum of literally they are in the espionage album. Who helps espionage? But who helps espionage very nicely? The European Mole. Nice. 27 power this round. Holy cannoli, guys. I mean, I don't want to get too in-depth with it because, like I said, I'm only going for 5. So if everything was built around helping the espionage cards, that's 13 cards that aren't helping each other. What do we got? If at 8 or more, your espionage cards, wherever they are, cost 1 less. Not sure. I do have Birds Aren't Real. I did get Birds Aren't Real, and I really want to make sure I got Birds Aren't Real because I'm a big fan of the card and the animal, the Blue Jay. And I see a blue bird, I'm all in. If you have 4 or more science cards, your birds and espionage cards, wherever they are, gain 20. This is kind of setting itself up for Pigeon Photography to be in the deck. And I'm not mad. In fact, I'm kind of happy. So I'm just going to run with it. I'm going to put Birds Aren't Real in there. Okay, go in there. And we're going to throw Pigeon Photography in there. That's going to be, in my opinion, an amazing 5th espionage card to throw in there. I get to play with Seabirds and Awesome Aviation as well now. And that's good because I need, at least 4 science cards in there. But now I've also got double boost for birds. So it makes sense to make sure that I have a good chunk of birds in there. As well as aviation. Take your time, Q. Don't worry. All right. Time to venture into the world of birds. I didn't think I was going here after pulling the Cambridge 5, but this is the path that I've fallen down, is birds. Gosh, there's just a lot. There are just a lot to pick and choose from. This can now always go from flamingos, make them a little bit cheaper. The lorikeet makes them a little bit stronger. Then we've got, seabirds, a whole different world. I feel like I'd be an idiot not to maybe include griffin if I'm going to include birds, because what a power play of giving them all 55 power on the turn. I gotta stop double tapping. Let's see. Cliffs, your birds, wherever they are, gain 25 until played. That is pretty nice, and that counts as a science card. So I would consider it. Your birds, wherever they are, gain 14 for the round. Okay, not too shabby. I might actually want to narrow this down to just the birds themselves real quick so that I can make sure that I'm not screwing myself on having birds that get the effect of helping birds. I've done that before, definitely, where I just read and did not pay attention to that I actually also needed to keep the category in mind. And I was like, why is none of this affecting itself? And it's like, oh yeah, just because everything affects birds doesn't mean everything is birds. And that's a life lesson that I had learned. And it keeps me up at night. Your birds, wherever they are, cost 1 less. Okay, or 1 fewer. All birds in both players' hands gain 20 this turn. Not too shabby. What about that Nightjar? Birds in hand gain 25 this turn. Also not too shabby. What about... Is there a nice hearty world here where we get a bird that helps aviation? No? Not within birds category? That's fine. That's fine, birds. Okay, that's a pretty gorgeous card, honestly. I know just effect-wise, it's just gives 3 energy, but like that looks like I want it to be a Ben 10 alien. Like that's pretty. So I mean, I can't help but like keep that card in the back of my mind just because I like looking at it. That'd be an interesting challenge. Just cards you like looking at. I'm sure that deck actually would end up sucking because they would not mesh well. This card loses 50 this round. Yikes. If you lost this turn, gain 5 energy. Yikes. Why did I say yikes to that? No, that's good. That's good. I've spaced out there for a second. Your opponent's cards in hand lose 10 this turn. Your opponent's this. Your opponent's that. I love me the Bald Eagle whenever I end up having a lot of life on land cards in there. I understand he is 12. But the fact that if I pull him and my hand was all life on land cards, and now all of a sudden all of them, including him, are 3 energy cheaper to play. Fantastic. Which means that when I pull him, yes, he's 12, but he's actually 9. So he is playable, which is great. And he makes pretty much everybody else playable. You pull him with Toucan, Toucan goes from 8 to 5. Awesome. PPE shifts. There's Blue Jay. It does hurt my heart that he has 7 energy for 20 power, and not that easy to throw into a deck like this. I'm so sorry. I miss you, and I cannot put you in here. I don't want to get too specific, I think, on them helping specific birds. I want to keep it vague, because I got to remember we're sticking with espionage here. Espionage into helping birds, seabirds, and aviation. I do like it helping life on land. It kind of makes sense if I put the Blue Jay in there if I had a lot of seabirds. But I also want to make sure that I have good power in general. I do like the Snowy Owl, Cane Toad, Bombay Cat trio, but I don't think that it makes sense for this deck. I'm so sorry that this thing scrolls so low. Or slow. If this is the last turn of a round, a random card in your hand gains 50 this turn. That's not too shabby, chicken. That's not too shabby. If this is the first turn of a round, you gain 3 energy this round. That's also pretty nice. I think I remember Dracula Parrot kind of rocking. If your cards adjacent to this lose 30 this turn, this gains 60 permanently. Yeah, that's kind of great. I will do that. Because, if I pulled him with Bald Eagle, there's a world where he's doing what? Like 100 damage for 2 energy. I understand that he's taken away 30, but I'll just separate him so that I'm not ruining other people. And the fact that he's not taking away energy permanently is also great. Otherwise, I would be very scared of him if he was ruining my hand permanently. Your remaining cards in hand gain 10 next turn. That's not too bad. God, I wish I knew birds better, because my problem is like the golden pheasant and the blue jay. I just kind of like looking at them, and that doesn't mean that they're good to play. I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing to try. It just means that it probably wouldn't play out super well. I do want to make sure that I've got a few others in here. We're at 10, which means we've got, probably 4 birds, I think. Your birds cards, wherever they are, cost less. That's just for the coyote. This is for land with red in the name. If you're winning this round, this card costs 1 less permanently. That is pretty nice, but it's not strong enough for me to really consider it. Again, I'm passing by Blue Jay. I can't help but think about, I like Blue Jay. I don't think he does enough damage to make up for the minimal impact he would have in this deck, because even though there can be seabirds in this, I don't think there would be enough seabirds in this for him to stay relevant. I'm going to move on just for a moment to aviation. Take myself out of birds, go to a different category, make sure that I'm not about to fill up on birds that don't do too much when I had the opportunity to take advantage of some awesome aviation, which I'm sure there are some pretty dang good aviation cards. And I'm sure that they help birds too. Your science card in hands gain 10 played. Okay. Spitfire helps dogs and aviation. 25 this turn. 25 power. That's not bad at all. Again, specifically helps planes, but what can you expect from planes? Planes gonna help planes. Wait, you lose 1 energy this round. That's not great. Gain 8 power permanently. I do like that, Amelia Earhart. I do. If this is the first turn of a round, gain 5 energy this turn. I wish that was permanently. I mean, I bet everybody wishes that was permanently, but I wish that was permanently, because then I'd love to throw it in there. Your cards in hand gain 5 this turn. If you're not losing the round, your cards in hand gains an extra 7 this turn. Maybe. This card costs... These are, again, okay, here's an example. These are the ones that scare me. So he costs 7 energy the next time. I think that 55 power is enough to make up the difference that he's now going to cost 7 to get out of my hand again. Not particularly. There might be a way to keep that low, but not particularly. This card loses 44 until played. Okay. That means that when it's played the first time, it'll do 88. The second time, it'll do 44. I have like an indifference about the cards that, kind of keep power and imply that they get it back, but because of the never-ending cycle of their ability, they're going to stay low. The ones that I really can't get behind, though, are the ones that are just like, yeah, once you play it, it's dead. Like, I think April Fool's does that or something, where it's just, it's a good hit once, and it cannot recover. There are a couple where you can make them act like they recover, but then there are some where it's just, yeah, nope. This you're gonna go out with this one once, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and if it does, be grateful because it's done after that. Sonic Boom helps brilliant human body superstructures. Awesome aviation wherever they are. Gain 8 power permanently. That is not too bad. Obviously, I have this protected. I've had a lot of people trade this card. So aviation cards, wherever they are, gain 15 power until played. The card opposite this is going to lose 50. That's great. Your remaining aviation cards in hand lose 5 permanently. I think that this might be fantastic because I'm not going to have too many aviation cards in here. So it's going to be nice to give them a power boost wherever they are. This is immediately going to hurt my opponent whenever it's played, and it's only going to take away 5 power permanently from the playing cards in my hand, which again won't be too many. So I think that makes plenty of sense in this kind of build. If your deck contains hydrogen, I don't think it will. If it's played next to, and if you have played hydrogen, this can gain up to 40 permanent power. Oh my god. That's really nice. So so the third time that you're playing this, it would go out there. So you play it 60, or I guess 80, and then it comes back, it gets 20 more. Now it's at 100. And then you play it again, 120, comes back 140. So the third time that you're playing it, just from its own effects alone, it'll now be doing 160? That's pretty good for just its solo effects on itself. That's pretty dang good. Good on you, Zeppelin. I expected maybe that it was going to have more negative effects considering what happened to it, but that's all right. Forces of Nature. I don't think I'm working with Forces of Nature. Fearsome Flyers. No, we will avoid Fearsome Flyers. I think I've only, added 2 planes, so we're really weak on reasons to help plane cards right now. We've got Earhart, and we've got Brainstorming. This is going to make them cheaper. Air Force One is not too shabby a card. When returned, it's going to make all the aviation cards cheaper. That is nice. I do hate that I'm now rounding back and thinking, well, Night Witches would pack a punch the first time around. That's my trap. That's the trap that I've built for myself. Just to make sure that I'm not overseeing any heavy power that I could be doing with certain aviation cards. because the beauty of doing something like this where I spin a wheel and I see what to build around is it helps me explore a lot more of the catalog that I do not usually explore. And this is part of the category that I usually do not explore. Yeah, there we go. That's what I was thinking. Yep, if you lost a turn, your remaining cards in hand lose 10 permanently. No, thank you. I know that you do 90, but I don't want to hurt my hand 10 permanently. That's of course saying that I don't have the confidence in myself to win the turn, but still. Queen of the Sky, Boeing 747, can help 10 this turn. That's not too shabby. I am indifferent about using some of these cards. I guess this is going to be a league deck, right? From how Leagues is built right now, it's pretty dang close to casual, so I have no reason not to. That being said, I like cards like they're high energy, but they're good. Okay. We're gonna do this boy up here whenever it decides to scroll to him. Was it the Concord? All right, fine. If they're just not gonna scroll to him, I'm just gonna click on him. If you're losing this round, this card gains 35 this turn. That is not bad. This would specifically help the right flyer, which I do not think I'm going to have in this deck. Man, the slowness at which this scrolls is equivalent to letting me know the pain you guys must have felt when I was just lagging behind in the stream. I'm like, wow, come on. All right, Brilliant Human Body Superstructure, no. Fearsome Flyers, no. I do like, if you lost the turn, your aviation cards, whoever they are, gain 20 until played. I do think that I'm going to do that. I do. I don't know why. I got to look back at exactly how I've built this afterwards and understand what I've put together. At this point, I'm trusting my gut because I don't want to keep wasting too much time around stuff that I, don't know that well. Let me just see real quick if I have hydrogen and what hydrogen does. Hydrogen almost sounds like it would just be a base card. Is it? No. Hydrogen works with oxygen. Oxygen gains 30 permanently. What does oxygen work with nitrogen or carbon? I've got oxygen, right? Ocean and seas cards. Okay. Now I'm tempted because now if I do this and I do this, I'm looking at that and that's implying that I would only have one C card. But we'll figure this out together. Let's get that boy. What was it? Zippy? Little zippy zip. Zip zip. That's enough. Okay. Cool. Seabird. Let me just check those seabirds. Gotta love my penguins. Because, it would be dumb of me to just completely overlook one area. I know that I don't need to have seabirds in there, but it would be so dumb to not check at least. Gain 9 next turn. Gain 10 energy this turn. Scooty. Seabirds gain 20 this turn. Helps unruly rulers. I do like building around the unruly rulers. I have done that before. That'd be fun to do again. Gain 40 next turn. Gain if your volcanic eruption gains 50 next turn. Your science cards are gonna gain. I have to make sure that I have 4. No, I do. I do have 4 science cards. Parasitic Jaeger. I remember that. If you lost this turn, your opponent loses 30 this round. I love him. So we'll work off this real quick. Cambridge 5 needs exactly 5 espionage cards. The 5 that I've gone with work around this. Cambridge 5. Fritz, which needs, again, works well if you have 5 or more espionage cards. We have 5. Very good. And then, get me out of here, bud. Come on, Q. I'm afraid that if I hit that X, it's going to back out. It's not going to save this deck. Okay, good. We've got Sydney. Come on. I'm going to save this real quick before something backfires on me. Let's just say Cambridge. There we go. Cambridge. Very good. Okay. Because the last thing I want to do is, accidentally click something and it doesn't save it, and then my heart hurts. And I just say, you know what? Let's just build a deck that's all capybaras. I would still do that, and it'd still be fun, but it'd be, with a heavy heart. Sidney Riley needs 4 or more espionage cards. We have that. I know he helps playing cards. Right now, I didn't have that in there. I think that I would need him and Tuxedo, if I'm not mistaken, and I don't think it helps too much, and it's fine to use a card for just half of its ability, because I think that's what all of us do with Magna Carta. I don't think anybody uses it for its second half ability, just its first half. This is great, helps 40 this turn. Awesome. This guy helps specifically Steinbeck. Steinbeck, again, helps Espionage. It's going to make them nice and strong. They're going to hit real hard. Pigeon Photography is going to help birds, seabirds, and aviation, wherever they are. That's really nice. This is played based off the fact that we are going to have 4 or more science cards, thanks to the aviation. And they're going to help birds and espionage. Again, fantastic. Griffin helps birds. Dracula might steal from his friends, but he's very grateful and giving to himself. I don't think I need Bald Eagle now from how this is built. So I will end up replacing him with a seabird. Come on. Okay. There we go. Good golly. Okay. What else do we have here? Your deck has 1 or more crustacean cards, 1 or more tremendous trees. Neither of those are happening. What else we got? Plenty of pirates. Black. Okay. If you lost this turn, it's cheaper. Random Curious Cuisine. No. Your seabirds wherever they are. Okay, cool. This card loses 100 permanently if you lost the turn. That's not very chill. If you're leading by 100 or less, your seabirds wherever they. Okay. Right now I only have 1 seabird in there. So I don't know about how heavy to go in on their effects just helping seabirds. That is nice that it would boost itself a little bit, but it's pretty cheap. Common and rare seabirds. I don't think I'm building that much around seabirds. I do like the idea of gaining 40 power going into the next turn, just in case it doesn't work out for me. That's not terrible. I might be building one of the worst decks I've ever built, or I might really surprise myself and be building a deck that really comes out of nowhere. By the way, I am just now seeing somebody say, can you do the devil next? And yeah, sure. I can do the devil next. Why not? As long as I have it. All right. 9 next turn. Penguin. Scooty turns. Scooty. Not actually named Scooty turns. Is it? Do I keep misreading that? Is it Sooty? It's Sooty. Okay. I just keep calling him Scooty. I'm so sorry, man. Yeah, I do not have a lot of ocean. I do not have a lot of seabirds in this hand. That's not bad, per se. I am just going to throw Rockhopper Penguin in there. Let's just see. All right. Gaining power permanently. Helps aviation. Helps itself. Helps aviation. Oxygen, Hydrogen, Zeppelin, a trio. Parasitic Jaeger is going to hurt them if I'm hurt. And Rockhopper Penguin's going to help me if I'm down. This, again, I cannot prove how this is going to do. But I would hope, I sure would hope that it does okay. So let's see how it ends up doing. And if it just does terrible, that's okay. I'm here for trial and error. We're here to see what does and doesn't work. We're here to figure out what does and doesn't work. Okay. Early stage leagues. Early stage leagues. We're going to have not a lot of pressure on us for this to work. Although I did play just an awful opponent once with a very makeshift deck. So it's not out of the question that it ends up sucking for us. But we're still going to give it a go. All right. All right. Time to see what does and doesn't work here. One thing that I do love is, even though I can't guarantee that this deck ends up being great the way that it was built, I can A, give myself some ideas of what does and doesn't work for the future. B, give you some ideas of what does and doesn't work for the future. And C, I have a jumping off point of where to rework dependent on how this ends up playing itself out. God, that's glitchy. All right, that's mighty fine. Okay, Cambridge 5, drawn right away. Yeah, I need to throw this on like an SSD or something because it is running like an old Microsoft tutorial at this point. Anyways, okay, we're at 14 energy right to start. We've got Cambridge, which already did his ability. We've got another Birds Aren't Real, already did their ability. Honestly, not a bad idea to play him right off the bat because he'll give himself that 60 permanently. Hydrogen, your oxygen card in hand is going to gain 30 permanently. That doesn't matter anymore. And then I'm going to throw you out there, non-adjacent, so that you don't get affected. As far as I know, that should help hurt him. It should still pack a punch. Dracula Parrot's going to also go up in how he's vibing. So that's going to be really nice when I get around to him again. Brainstorming should be helping Aviation as well right now. I did not lose, so my hand did not get affected thanks to Brainstorming, so that's really good. Sidney Riley. This is going to help Aviation this turn, or Espionage this turn. Since I've got the arena match, I am going to just right away do him and Cambridge 5. I don't think I'm going to... It sounds bad to say. I really don't think I'm going to need to play him, so I'm going to save that. I could have played him, and if I had played Jaeger, then I give myself that leeway of, well, if I did end up losing, I still would have hurt him. But I had the confidence that for some reason, just the 2 cards wouldn't backfire. Pushing forward, nice and strong into turn 3. Steinbeck, for the next 2 turns, I can get him out of my hand nice and cheap. I want that guy as soon as I can get him, so I am going to just play these guys and get them out of my hand because I need to draw Steinbeck so that I can get Steinbeck out of my hand while he only costs like 5 energy and not 25 energy. Because if I'm holding on to him when he comes around right now, I will be screwed. And I just will not be able to play him in general until I draw the CIA again. So no matter what, I need CIA out of my hand right away right now because either I need to get Steinbeck as soon as possible or I'm going to need to get CIA again as soon as possible. Hey, that wasn't very cool to do to Birds Aren't Real. That's fine. All right. So I think Birds Aren't Real is going to be a trash card at some point for me. At least with the arena boost, he's not going to be... Is he still at 0 even with the arena boost? I thought that he was going to be fine. I do like... Okay, thanks to the minimum 14. I mean, I've got a great situation right now to play these cards in. I'm going to get Zeppelin out there right away. And I'm also going to get Earhart out there right away. I know it's just 166. Here's to hoping that I'm winning after this for some reason. It's going to be tight. No, I'm not. Very close, though. Very, very close. I am also seeing that he's got a good chunk of dinosaurs, so I really need to win before round 5 because I think that he's going to have a good upper hand in come round 5 with all them dinos. Let's see. Okay, he's recovered. Thank goodness. So I do have Birds Aren't Real back. Ocean Seas cards are going to get a little boost. I do like that. I'm not winning. So I can do this. No, that's not worth. Well, yes, that is very worth it. What am I talking about? He's still sitting at 108. Absolutely worth it. I'm still doing a lot of damage. I don't know if I'll bring it back, but I'll keep it close. My hope was I'm not gonna bring it back. Dang. My hope was that I would get at least just this short lead, because if I did, I could get Concord out there and give him a power boost. But that's fine. I don't need him out there getting a power boost right off the bat. I don't even necessarily need to win this round, although it would be very nice. If you lost the turn, I'll play you just in case, because if I lose, then you're only going to help me. I'm going to save you, especially for that next. What am I even talking about here? We'll try and pack a punch. I don't know if it's going to be enough, but we'll try here. I'm getting that last one in there, and it's just not enough. Just not enough. Okay, definitely not enough now. Felt good. Felt good there for a minute. It was tight. But yeah. Taking away any kind of power from my hand was the deciding factor in that last second. Okay. Gotta definitely do a quick recovery here in round 3. Hello, man. Hello, Mr. Expensive Man. Okay, Pigeon Photography, you look freaking great right now, dude. Dude, you look awesome. Cards in hand, so I don't want you yet. I definitely want to play Pigeon Photography. And definitely going to play Rockhopper as well, because that's going to do a near... Okay, that's great. This is awesome. This is an awesome start, because I will get a lead, and I'm also going to have an extra 40 damage just right away going into the next round. Awesome. Terrific. That's what that's comforting, because now, in case I can't get a good amount of damage out with the energy or the cards that I at least have some kind of boost to help me. Keep it close. I do have Dracula Parrot and Brainstorming back, and actually, I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do that. That's pretty. That's about what I like to see. All right, this should do a great chunk here, even with him hurting me. I didn't have to waste as much energy, and I have a very kind, comforting lead right now. So there's that. Give him on the draw. That's great. What happens on your play? That's on the turn. I think I want to keep that Cambridge 5 and Sydney combo for next turn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play Brainstorming, and I'm actually just going to play Oxygen. I know it's only going to do 85, but that's implied that he needs to do like 450 damage here right now with 2 cards. So, awesome. He's going to hit his minimum on energy. That's fine. Hopefully, I still have a nice, strong power combo in Cambridge 5 and Sydney, if not more, from some effects. CIA, that's what we like to see. Steinbeck's back in the running to be played. That's beautiful. We obviously want to get him right out of the hand so that we never forget again. And well, we've got 147 or 154. I mean, they're pretty much the same, but I mean, why not just go for the most right off the bat? 359 is not a bad start, and he was coming out hot anyway. So at the very least, we're keeping pace here, thanks to that play. Thanks to the perfect time there. I know that we're going to be down, but we're not down as much as I think that we should be because of that. Even after it hurt Cambridge 5 is still, like, really good. I see he's got the 100. It almost makes me want to toss, but I can't. I just can't. I can't bring myself to. I'm going to, I like that with hydrogen. Okay. This game, if played next to hydrogen, it's going to gain 12. Okay. We're going to get you. No, we're going to do this and this. We're going to do this and this. Only 165. It's not great. All right. That's about what I was setting myself up to see was, does he have a really good combo of cards here or not? It does look like it makes definitely the most sense now to save my energy on the cards that I really like. He's definitely got some kind of paleontology combo in there that he likes moving into the next thing. What can I get ability-wise moving forward to help me out? I definitely this. Definitely need well, that's the suckiest thing. Because Fritz... Okay, we're going to do you to get you out of my hand. And we're going to do you to get you out of my hand. It's only going to be 99. But I'm trying. I'm just trying to get 2 new cards into my hand that could potentially end up being the thing that keep me in this come round 5 against Mr. Has paleontology cards sitting in his hand. Those 2 paleontology cards that have just been sitting there waiting for round 5. He knows what he's doing. He knows that he's waiting to play those until right now. Especially considering that they're probably They're probably herbivores and they're probably going to get a big boy bonus. That sucks. I see these cards. I'm still going strong. Let's get you and let's get you. I mean, it's the biggest punch that I can put out there right now. Yeah, it's the biggest punch I can put out there right now. It's pretty much this or nothing, right? I need it to work. Or at least give me some kind of a lead. I know he has paleontology cards, and if they don't line up right, that's all I have to run off of. I start with the lead. Awesome. I don't know if that's going to hold, but boy, I sure hope it does. He's got good energy moving forward. I think that he used his biggest punches, though. So it depends on if he can get back to them fast enough or not. I definitely need pigeon photography out there again, as much of a punch as I can. I am winning the round, so it does make more sense to play you right now. 262 is not bad, because that means that I need him to do about 300 damage here to even it out. And yep, he was sitting on a pretty nice gem. GG. GG, everybody. As fun while it lasted. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to pull a card that's going to pull that comeback off. I mean, it's the right map for it. He's got the right boosts. I mean, Griffin and Dracula pair, it's something. I don't know if it's enough, but we'll definitely still try. He's been built pretty nicely. If I'm not mistaken, this should drop, but I mean, it was a good try. Yeah, no, I can't bring it back. Even still with 400 power, I'm still going to go further down. I think for what it's worth, there's a lot of this deck that I do have confidence in. It just really did not line up well at that last stage. I mean, to get an 80 power boost for herbivores, that was pretty much me signing right then and there that it was not going to work out for me. But don't get me wrong, I would happily give that kind of deck another run, because that one, I did see a lot of confidence. I see exactly where I could have rebuilt it also. I mean, like, what did I and did I not use? The hydrogen oxygen Zeppelin thing didn't line up as much as I thought it was going to line up. I definitely could replace hydrogen and oxygen, and then also Rockhopper Penguin, I think. I didn't use that much. I did kind of like him and Jaeger as a combo, but I definitely didn't need them as a combo in there. So, that being said, let me see real quick if I have Devil. Let me just see real quick if I have Devil. It's okay. Take your time. Devil. All right. It's taking a long time to say. Do not. So, I'm going to add it to the wheel. I'm going to trade for it so that I can cover the Devil. Sometimes, that sounds so wild to say out loud. By the way, sometimes in case you haven't seen it, sometimes I will just build around these recommendations on my YouTube channel in a video. I usually try and keep the Twitch streams open to trying things that I really don't know if I have confidence in, so that I can, test every suggestion out. And then also on TikTok, I haven't done it in a while, but probably will again here soon. Do short little videos, whereas like if you wanted to build around the Devil, here's a quick little tip of how you could do it. It's not a full-fledged thing because, TikTok only allows, I was going to say only allows 60 seconds, but I think that they do allow more if you get permission or whatever. Anyway, you can follow, it's Zane Films at all three of these places, man. It's Zane Films at Twitch, Zane Films at YouTube, Zane Films at freaking TikTok. Being said, I will keep, as weird as it sounds to say out loud, I will keep the Devil in mind. Let's do, let me see. I will do one more quick one. I'll do one more quick one. Well, my heart's happy. Okay, it's time. It's time to just build around the Blue Jay. Okay. Awesome. I was lucky you got that. I was lucky that got jerk. Okay, let me see. What are you talking about? What is this? Yes. I know what you're talking about now. I was like, I just wanted to make sure, because I was like, as soon as I just read the Blue Jay thing and then read that, I was like, we're talking about two different cards now, right? That wasn't a typo. Okay. I mean, hey, kind of helps, potentially, with them both helping Ocean and Sea. Anyway, I finally get to build around my favorite bird. So I'm excited about that. Again, don't know how it's going to go, but that's the exciting part about building the decks, is the thrill of the hunt. All I know, I have Blue Jay. Don't lie to me. I was just staring at it last build. You don't put a space, do you? I have Blue Jay. There it is. Okay, awesome. Cool. Anyway, Blue Jay is bird. That her. Yeah. Anyway, Blue Jay is bird. Awesome. Is life on land. Awesome. Is ocean and seas helper. Cool. Those are the main three focuses here. I'm probably going to go with half life on land, half ocean and seas. I definitely immediately feel from this build that I am going to throw Bald Eagle in there. Before I've read anything else, I am going to throw Bald Eagle in there. That's a personal favorite of helping any deck that has a lot of life on land cards in it. Just because, I mean, it doesn't just drop birds. It just happens to be a bird. It drops all life on land cards, 3 energy. That's awesome. That's awesome to me. But now I do have to really quick. I don't have to look at birds, but I will, just because, Blue Jay Bird, might as well make sure that I'm not overseeing or overlooking the fact that bird could be useful here. I do want to make this kind of a quick one because the love of my life's getting off of work soon, and I want to be able to say hi to her when she gets home. But that doesn't mean that we can't sprint to the finish and make a badass deck that can, for some reason, do justice in leagues. That's what I'm here to show. I mentioned earlier, the Golden Pheasant, pretty card. really pretty card. I'm going to throw it in here this time just because it's gorgeous to look at. And I might take it out, but I do really like looking at it. Let's see. Helps all Life on Land boys. We're really going to go with, I think, no, because you help science in Life on Land. World Turtle is for 4, right? Yeah, okay. I was trying to see if World Turtle, this can be the Thanksgiving. A Thanksgiving deck with all the birds. Okay, yeah. Heck, I'm here for the suggestions. Why not? It can be as competitive. It can be as fun as we want it to be. So, yeah, I'm just going right back to the freaking birds. Why not? Let's see what we're missing in birds. We got Peacock. Your opponent cards in hand lose 10 power this turn. That's something. I don't like that this card hurts itself so long for the round. But I can't help but notice that it definitely does quite a bit of damage. If I lost the turn, gain 5, that's not a terrible play, especially with Bald Eagle in hand to potentially make him cheaper to play. I do also like the Peregrine Falcon helping steal. If you're losing the round, this card gains 25 permanently. That's something. Opponent random card loses 18 power, and this card in my hand loses 12. Not spicy enough. It's not doing enough on its own for it to be worth playing. Prominent Painters helps Prominent Painters. That's fine. I could really outreach, and I know one card that I could throw in here that I will. It's just not in the birds category, but it is a bird. I mean, heck, I can throw Griffin back in here because if I'm throwing birds in here, why not? It helps birds. That's my dog. And I also have a cat sitting right here. He's a little orange loaf of bread. Your birds, wherever they are, cost 1 less this round. That makes sense to potentially include in here. Considering. I just wish they did a little bit more damage. I mean, Leagues is a scary place. I don't know if you were watching before, but somebody can take 3 cards and make them do like 600 damage. Birds probably ain't gonna do that on their own. Definitely want Dracula Parrot back in here. He was a friend of mine in that last play. I'm sure that there are good cards also that I'm missing. Unfortunately, I can only work with what I have. Bird cards in hand, gain 25. Your birds, wherever they lose, I think that that's a good, fine play, especially at the end of a round so that I don't get the negative effects, but I do get the positive. Your remaining cards in hand gain 10 next turn. Life on Land, gain 15 this turn. That's pretty nice considering that, it's going to be a lot of Life on Land. If you're losing the round, your cards in hand lose 10. Not sure. By the way, just kind of as a side bit, if I'm not mistaken, you said Thanksgiving. What animal do we associate with Thanksgiving? We say the turkey. If I'm not mistaken, there's no turkey in this game. Like I asked my girlfriend the other day. I was like, this game has everything. Name anything. Name a card. And she said turkey, and I looked it up, and it wasn't there. And I thought, now if you're telling me that a specific breed of bird isn't there, fine. But a turkey's not in the game? That was pretty wild to me. I was like, how did you manage to name something so base level that they haven't put in here yet? Because I'm surprised. We have Christmas-themed cards in here. Kind of thought, maybe Thanksgiving-themed cards in here, if there is. Turkey helps all the like November tradition cards or something, or just birds, or Curious Cuisine or something. It's very surprising that that's not in here. Griffin. I'm for sure throwing Griffin in here because Griffin helps all birds, all mammals, is bird. Is at least part bird. Another part bird, if we're really stretching out, the Phoenix. Love the Phoenix. This is a card that if you don't have it, go get it. Please. It's awesome. It just burns and burns and burns and burns the opponent's hand. It burns them 14 until they play their cards. And if I was losing the round, and this is just from drawing it, and if I was losing, it burns it another 14. He says, I've got you. And if you're losing, I really got you. So, I mean, I can't be mad. I love that card. Oh, hey, there's a card that helps the Phoenix, too. That's awesome. Now, trying to think, what else do we have? We have Seabirds, and that's kind of important to throw in here. If the deck is at least technically built around Blue Jay, I highly recommend getting Phoenix, by the way. And if you don't have Phoenix, another alternative card, there are 2 alternative burn cards that hit me the same way that Phoenix did. And one of them, I see vids of this, it burned, yeah. It's Raphael is a really good burn card as well. And I think Jack-o'-lantern is also a really good burn card. If I was, for some reason, in some scenario, building a burn deck, those I would consider. Phoenix mostly, then Raphael. Raphael was when I started playing the game. The first time I was playing the game, my friend got Raphael and was using Raphael. That card will piss you off. If you can get annoyed very easily from your cards in hand getting worse, that card will do that to you. Seabirds. I might be able to use towards Unruly Rulers this time, actually. Because I do know, was it Emperor Penguin? Somebody really helps Unruly Rulers. I'm definitely adding Parasitic Jaeger again. I like the Jaeger. We'll throw Rockhopper in there right now anyway as well. Where's my guy that I'm talking about? That helps. That just Crustacean, Tremendous Trees. Helps Seabirds wherever they are 15 permanently. This is nice. I'll consider him. I know it kind of sucks because if I lose, he's done. And I don't know if you were watching earlier. I mentioned it, that one of the things that bothers me is cards that can't recover when they lose their power. I'm really skeptical of those. I know there are some where it's like he might lose 30 permanently until played. And you're like, okay, so he gets it back, but he doesn't really. He's forever 30 power less than he was the first time I played him. This time, if he loses that 100, he goes to 0, and he just stays there. Thankfully, we play in a world here where even if he went to 0, Oceans and Seas and Seabird cards would make him have some kind of power. He just would suck. Speaking of burn, Door to Hell, but yeah. Nice card. It can hurt you. Yes. Door to Hell, great card. I know Door to Hell and I think Hell are 2 cards people love in, I don't remember what I called them. I did a video where I tried to label different brands of what you can do deck build wise. And I think that was essentially like a comeback deck where you're built around the concept of like kind of that you want to lose the first 2 rounds so that you can like aggressively win the next 3 rounds. And Door to Hell is really good at that because yes, it burns your hand, but like what, 50 power to every card in your hand? It's great. And then I think the next turn, if they keep burning, they're just down to what they were at before they got a power boost. So technically, it's like nothing happened. It's great. Penguin. We got a lot of penguins. Barnacle Goose, man, I want to throw in here because it's a goose. Can't. It's just... I'm not going to throw Crustacean and Tree in here if it's a bird deck. Snares Penguin. If you lost this turn, this card costs 4 less. That's not too shabby. Humboldt Penguin, if you're leading by 100 or less, your Seabird card. I'll consider you. Common and rare Seabirds. I don't think I'm building with common and rare ones. Come on, scroll up. You're helping Volcano. You're helping Science cards, Forces of Nature. Seabird hand does help. There he is, Royal Penguin. Helping the Unruly Rulers. Let me just make sure that I mark the unruly rulers so that I get the actual benefits. Like I've said before, I've fallen victim to, well, okay, he helps unruly rulers. I don't know why I remember there aren't birds in unruly rulers, right? There's no mystery bird in here, is there? It'd be awesome if there was. Then I'd definitely throw the royal penguin in here. I know that this is built around people, but I'd love to be surprised and see that there was a king bird. It does not seem like there is. So I'll back off of him. Okay. Unmarked royal penguin, because only helps people, not birds. And that's against what we're going for here. Helps seabirds, helps ocean and sea. Scroll up. Seabird, cards in hand. Saturn, ocean and sea. Do like Puffin. Pelican's kind of just good in general. Gain 9 next turn is also not terrible to have something. Chinstrap penguin, your yellow-eyed penguin in hand. This is... I have yellow-eyed penguin, right? Yeah, there he is. Seabirds. Let's do him and him. No, let's not, because that's not going to be a lot of damage in leagues. Okay. What am I missing? Birds. Bird. I doubt that's actually going to give me birds, but if it does, awesome. Okay, some birds. Some birds. I forgot about prehistoric birds. I forget about paleontology all the time. I don't think I use any paleontology card except Direwolf. I know there's somebody that wants me to build around paleontology, and I will. I just know nothing on it. And that's my bad. But is there a category that's just called prehistoric birds? Fearsome flyers. We'll count that as birds. We'll look into birds. As long as it doesn't just aggressively go against what the deck currently is. Gain a little bit of energy. That's something. Your birds in hand gain 15 this turn. This card loses 15 permanently. Helps Fearsome Flyers. If you lost the turn, you gain 65 next turn. That's pretty nice. Stop scrolling so fast. Philosophy, tennis. Help unruly rulers. Oh, man. That's good to know for the future. Your birds, wherever they are, gain 10 permanently. Yep. Now, what else do we got? What else do we have up our sleeve here? Birds, let's do this because it helps birds. And then we're going to do, where's the one that if I was down, I'd gain 65. I like that one. And then, God, I'm just trying to run through it now because I have to play the game. Back to regular birds. Back to regular birds. Come on. I can't wait until I figure out how to make this game run smoothly. Okay. Okay. Your birds in hand gain 15 this turn. I got a question for you. Ask away. Ask away with the questions, by the way. Let's see. Kingfisher, randomly this. Tunke's kind of fun to look at. If you're losing the round, this card gains 25 permanently. Not terrible. Helps specifically. If you're winning the round, this card costs 1 less permanently. That's kind of nice. Larynx, your birds, wherever they are. Let's do you, just to cheapen birds, because that's one of the goals here. And then, if you're... For every 50 you're winning by. Yeah, let's do him. Why not? We're going in with what I'm just going to call Quick Bird deck. Quick Bird deck. It's not anything but birds. As far as I know, let me just make sure I didn't throw anything unbird in there at first. Owl's bird. Yeah, okay. So it's bird deck made of birds, not just bird deck, and we can really outsource and use like a guy that works with birds. This is bird deck. This is can we make birds on their own effective? And I hope so. Rest of Abyss, what do you think of that card? I feel that ocean card you put in deck don't let you breathe, adding more history. Let me see. What is this? Take your time, Q. Clearly, I know nothing about it if I don't have it, but I'll look into it. Let me see. Because now I'm also curious. What is this? What is this card? Is probably the game acting weird. Let's try it with that word. Maybe I'll find it. I don't know if I can even find the card that you're talking about. Okay, there it is. I don't know. This is the second time today that I've looked up a card and it just didn't pop up the first time. So running this thing on BlueStacks has been wonky. Okay, let me see. If your deck has 9 or more ocean cards, your history cards, wherever they are, gain 14 until played, and vice versa. That's awesome. I feel that ocean cards you put in your deck don't let you breathe, adding more history. This is great in the sense of if you're building a half, 9 history, 9 ocean cards. But technically, if you're building 9 history, 9 ocean cards, that's always just what comes to mind where I'm like, if it tells you to do 9, then why aren't you doing 9 on the other side? You don't have to, obviously. It doesn't force that. But if your deck has 9 or more ocean cards, your history cards, wherever they are, gain. Yeah, no, that makes sense to have 9 ocean cards and 9 history cards. Then just from playing this, your entire deck gains 14 power until played. I think that's great. Again, obviously any card comes down to specifically how you built your deck, but I think that's pretty great. I got that card in a trade. Yeah. I think that's a good get. Heck, I'll add it to the wheel so that we can potentially come across trying to build a deck around it, because I like that one. And that would force a specific genre, right? That'd force half history, half ocean. That'd be fun to play with, because I don't think I've ever played with half history, half ocean ever. Okay. All right. Calm down here. Okay. I never changed the thing. That's fine. People know. Quick bird deck. Let's just throw him out there real fast and see if he works. If he doesn't, it was fun. If he does, wow. So, let's see what happens with Quick Bird deck. I would love to see Quick Bird deck work. Give me a lot of confidence in wonky builds. Like I did earlier a build that was like not earlier, but like earlier in the week, I did a build that was just common cards that didn't have any abilities, which was brutal. It was a kind of deck that I had to play in casual because it's not going to find its voice at all in leagues. And it's painful because that one, the theme is so tightly specific. That one I built like this, where it was just 18 cards that did not have abilities. It was impossible. As soon as I added like 2 cards that gave them some kind of bonus, it worked. So that could be the case in this scenario as well. Draw, play. My birds are going to gain this turn. That's what we like. I like you. 69. And then wherever they are, I also want to throw Phoenix out there right away because I want Phoenix's ability back as soon as possible. 172, I'd argue, is not that bad. Am I playing the same person from before? Cause it's lining up that I'm going to be playing a heavy paleontology deck again. It's like the world's trying to tell me, hey, paleontology just kind of does it sometimes. I've got nothing against paleontology. I've just never actually looked into building that deck. And I'm sure if I did, I would end up discovering a world that I had no idea existed as vastly as it did. I mean, I've been ignoring a 7th of Q. So that's something right there. Bald Eagle. Awesome. I could get 40 next turn. If I lost, I could get energy. Let's do you. And you. And you. Get you guys out of my hand. Another nice chunk of damage, which might just be enough. Nope. This is too strong a built deck. Okay. He's going to have a deck that really works well together and is really going to show and hurt me next round on the paleontology stage. My goal here is just hold on. At least his hand's still on fire. That's good for me. That's really good for me. His hand's on fire going into the paleontology stage. That's awesome. Because either he's going to throw him away here, giving me a chance, or he's not. And yeah, that hurts. Sue Bones and 8 Immortals, when you're testing stuff out, they are test ruiners. Let's give you guys this bonus. You're leading. Okay, I wasn't paying enough attention. That's fine. I was not going to, honestly, maybe better because I was not about to do around 300 damage. What can you expect from Quickbird deck other than a little bit of disappointment? Good news is we do have a life on land coming up in round 4, which might be a nice hearty if we are hanging around, if we somehow do take round 3, because I don't expect to take round 2. That'd be really nice. FC Birds. I just don't have the faith. I don't know why I'm doing this, but I am. Okay. All right. We're doing it. We're going in. 245. Keep them split so I have a chance. Depends on their abilities. It depends. 2. No, dang.
I understand.
Siri coming out of nowhere on my watch. I was close. Sorry, Adelaide Penguin. That's a bummer. But I had to do something. That's closer than I feel like it should have been for an all paleontology deck going into a paleontology stage. I can't not try, so can't be mad of how that turned out. Let's do that, and let's just get a little bit more damage. It really seems like this deck I'm playing against is too well built for the bird deck. It might be such a sweep that honestly I might try it one more time after this, because this is like the bird deck is showing its potential. It's just playing too strong of an opponent right now. All right, let's see. This is until played, right? Come on, Griffin. You're until played, right? Yes. Okay, good. Perfect. Feel it. Let's do this. It's about the same for a little bit less. It's not going to be enough. I might as well actually hold off. Let's just get all of my energy back. But let's play Griffin so that I can get my boost. Yeah, I was not about to do 420 damage. Let's see. I will do one with Wolf Spider. I'm adding him to the wheel right now. That's what I love to see. Okay. I do have to go after this, so I will not be able to run this one again. Although I like it, I might honestly just the next time I stream start by giving Quick Bird Deck another test because I want it to have a shot. It's just playing an aggressive opponent, so it's real hard to give it the time of day. Let's go out with some power, though. 359. Awesome. Even though he's got too much of his own power, I'll still try. The goal here is if I can win one round, awesome. Awesome. Because that paleontology deck, God, his deck built very nicely. You know, sometimes you find a deck, they're trying something out, it works in your favor. Sometimes they've got it all figured out and they've decided to use it, but for some reason they're low in leagues like you. I stay low in leagues so that when I do this, I can use league standard, but not get obliterated by people with significantly stronger decks. I am, so that's great. I don't know if that's gonna work, but I'm gonna try it. Shoot. Nope, that's not gonna work, but that's still, hey, it was fun. Yes, has another go with Bird on extra. Yeah. So we're gonna keep Quick Bird. I'm just gonna not delete the deck, and I'll just keep it in mind and throw it back up there. Rerun Quick Bird deck, because like I said, it's shown potential here, just being all birds. It got unlucky. Birds got unlucky against all the dinosaurs. I don't know if I can throw something miraculously his way right now. Other than, I mean, I can do this, help them out permanently. And then just based off of power, it makes the most sense to do this and this so I can get them both out there. I need him to do what? 70 damage? Yep. Just one card did more than 70 damage. That's fine. And it was right before the bird stage, too. That would have been the one that we could have taken one out. We could have done some damage there. That would have been nice. But, that being said, this deck had some potential. It's fun. It's funny. It's all birds. Not just cards that help birds. It's all birds. So obviously it has some holes, but for being the kind of entertaining deck build that it is, worked out honestly. Kind of, it showed strength, so I can't be mad. Low rank myself because I can't deal with the hard. Yeah, I've built out here real quick before I go. I'll show what I've used for leagues lately. What I'm about to show you is a little stronger than what I had built before. I've worked my way all the way up to Dragon before, but once I got to Dragon, I didn't, keep going for shields. I pretty much just went to prove to myself that I could, if I wanted, strategize getting all the way up to the top. So I felt good knowing that I could do that. But considering the way that I do these deck builds for everybody, I want to keep it low so that I can, test everything in every category. This is what I had used, and I think there's a hole in it still right now. For leagues, I love Christmas Carol. Cheap, Lots of damage. Awesome. Therizinosaurus hurts your opponent's whole play by, is it 20 energy, I think? Yeah, each of those cards that they play goes down 20. Great. Awesome. Heimdall, I understand if you don't have, is not the easiest card to get, but is great in a deck, in a rainbow deck. It's lovely. You play that first turn of any round. Such a nice boost. Yen, I use as a great counter argument to Carol, because Christmas Carol is going to boost the whole deck 1 energy. This is going to definitely negate that on your hand. That's great. Magna Carta is going to help make your hand cheap again as well. Pika, I love. Pika and Wolfeel are the same card in different genres. Okay, Terminator and Direwolf, big hitter makes sense. Yeah. Giant's Causeway is going to do a lot of pull from them. Hourglass Dolphin just has too many good abilities to ignore. I have tried Hell, Black Knight, Rapunzel, Gavelgoat, Bactria Campbell. This deck has a lot of higher expense cards in it now. Originally, it didn't. It had one of the number one things that I made sure I had in a League deck was Odin, Freya, and Sleipnir, because they were easier to get and they are a great early time combination. As soon as I got Pika, my confidence went up a lot. I know that people use Martin Luther King in there a lot as well. You don't have to, obviously you don't have to build it with like just this. I mean, there's a world where that bird deck that we just built wins a League game. You can win a League game with whatever you build if you get lucky, if the arena matches, and if you play the right thing at the right time. This is just the thing where if I was like trying to have some kind of strategy to it, that's probably the way I went. This was also built to go off of when it was 80 damage, or that you had 80 starting energy just a moment ago. But I digress. Thank you for watching. Please, if you have any reason to, you can follow on Twitch, follow on YouTube, follow on TikTok. Any of those things I'm going to try and have Q content on. Twitch streaming, talking about League decks suggested by you guys. YouTube, I a lot of the time put the same kind of thing on there that I'm doing on here, but it's like 3 to 5 minute shorts about a specific category. You can comment on there, cards or themes that you want built around as well. Twitch, I'm going to try and, TikTok, I'm going to try and get back to making Q content on, and that's the shortest form. Very quick bite-sized things of like, hey, if you like the card paper, here are cards that help the card paper. Terminator is hard to get. That would be on my bucket. Yeah, Terminator was not easy to get. The hardest card, I mentioned this in the last video that I had uploaded on my YouTube channel. The hardest card for me to get, for some reason, was the Velvet Crab. And I don't know why. Nobody will tell me why. But nobody wanted to trade the Velvet Crab for anything. I think I tried to, I mentioned it. I had an easier time getting Guy Fawkes than I did getting the Velvet Crab. I don't know why. Anyways, I'll leave you with that thinker. If you get Velvet Crab, good on you. Apparently, it's the rarest card in the game, other than Mecha. So, thanks for watching. I love you guys for tuning in, watching any piece of this.